Okay, so I'm going to rehash a little bit from my last video because I'm going to talk about why I think my school system I went to was part of some sort of social experiment. And I think many schools might have been the subject of social experiments. So I'm going to talk about it. So I'm going to rehash the water thing. Okay, so growing up, I was always a little bit dehydrated. I think a lot of kids were in the 80s. You grow up, you get up in the morning, you have like milk in your cereal, and then you go about your day, you go to school, and you don't get to drink anything but until you have lunch, where you get a half pint of milk. Now, if you get hot during the day, you're thirsty, you might be able to hit the water fountain and get a little slurp. Of course, it's a really hot day, everyone else is waiting in line, they're like, go, 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 hurry up, right? You can't ever get enough. And quite often the bubbler does not get up over the lip of the bubbler, so the pressure is low. So there's like a layer of slime there for people putting their lips on it, as well as not getting cleaned on a regular basis. You can see mildew growing on it. It's gross. That's peculiar. Of course, you get home. I don't know what you had for snacks. Usually you have some more milk, and then you have milk with your dinner, and that's about it. Kids would stay up late, like, can I have a glass of water? The parents are always nagging their kids to drink water, right? But they raise them on flavored beverages, and then you wonder why your kids don't want to drink water, right? So, schools did not facilitate proper hydration. And then when I got into high school, you weren't allowed to have a bottled water in class. It was not allowed. You needed a doctor's note to drink water in class. I'm dead serious. It's like so someone with diabetes could get a doctor's note. Now, in the 11th grade, I did bring a bottle of water when it was really hot, and my teacher there did not jump on me for it. Okay, so I have to give credit to Miss Miller, who I also think she was a total babe. She did not prohibit me from having my jug of water, but it was distilled water, probably not the best water for me. In any case, but I remember my senior year, there was a teacher who did not allow students to drink water in class while she drank a water in front of them. So when I had a bottle, put that away, and then she drank from her own bottle, and an argument ensued. She's like, you need a doctor's note. You're not allowed to have water. Only teachers are. I'm like, what kind of person would even enforce that rule? That's so weird. Like, you question the morality of the teachers enforcing that. So, moving on, let's talk about other experiments. Elementary school collective punishment was introduced when the old principal retired and a new principal moved in, and suddenly some things changed. Whenever there was any kind of ambiguous misbehavior, they would punish everybody and in a group and say, well, it's on you to put the pressure on the people who are bad to not misbehave, so we don't have to punish all of you. And that happened when, for example, if you had a substitute teacher and some people misbehave, and so the teacher would come back and punish everybody, and it'd give us more work. Oh, on that subject too, imagine that, making your kids do math problems as a punishment, and then wondering why they're not interested in learning. Isn't that kind of screwed up? I swear that must mean either we're totally clueless or they knew what they were doing. Right? And then I remember at lunch one time, a couple kids, they found out one of the teacher's assistants was going to leave or retire or something. So they sang some song that was insulting towards us. Forget what it was. I don't remember. And I didn't know what they were singing. They just happened to mention Mrs. So-and-so's name, and suddenly people started clapping, and then you get caught up in the crowd. You know, you start clapping too. I'm like, wait a minute, what am I clapping for? So I happened to stop. I'm like, well, I don't know why I'm clapping. Just felt like going with the crowd. And then the whole 5th grade class. Oh, I think the 4th graders too, because we had lunch together. So we had to. We all had to write letters of apology to Mrs. So-and-so for cheering on the rude song sang about her. And even though we didn't know what the hell it was, collective punishment again, there's quite a bit of that. There's a couple concrete examples, and I'm trying to think of other ones, and it's escaping my mind right now, probably because I'm watching pedestrians approach a crosswalk, and I'm just going to let the pedestrian do the crosswalk thing. Okay. moving along. Junior high school, middle school, we had lockers, but we had designated locker times. Now, in 6th grade, we weren't allowed to use our lockers at unauthorized times. So we had 7 periods in the day, and then we had rotating periods. So one week it went A through G, and next week it went G through F, and then it went, whatever, it rotated. So it was next to impossible to plan your trips to the locker, so only allowed to go to your locker twice a day. Well, why the hell did they give us lockers if we had to get permission to use the locker? And if you got caught using a locker at an unauthorized time, you'll get a detention. Tell me this isn't some sort of grand social experiment. It had to be. I've refused to believe there's that level of incompetence. I got to where it just wasn't practical, so by the time 8th grade came around, especially because we only had 3 minutes between class and the hallways were packed, it was overcrowded. So I put all my books in a big, giant duffel bag, and I just carried everything. That way I couldn't forget anything. Ended up ruining my copy of the 5th book of The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan, but that's okay because I got sick of that book anyways. I only got it about partway through it. Anyways, it was so long and it dragged ass, and to hell with The Wheel of Time and Robert Jordan. So that's just an aside. High school, anytime during class, only one boys' bathroom was open. That was it. And none of the boys' bathrooms had doors on the poop stalls. I kid you not, no doors. And one boys' bathroom in particular, one was closest to the cafeteria, which was the one that was usually open during lunch break. There was no stall. It was just a sit-down toilet, and then a few feet away was a urinal. So you couldn't even get privacy. You couldn't lock the door. You weren't allowed to lock the door. So if you had to take a dump, you were shit out of luck. Pun intended. So eventually, in one of the boys' bathrooms, they put a door on the stall, which is good because people kept peeking around and harassing whoever was in there. But it was like a half wall, they made a full wall. So tell me that isn't another social experiment. They ran this like some sort of prison experiment. All right, I gotta mow some grass here, so we'll talk more later.